Chapter 10. Sing it with me. Who's afraid of the big good wolf? Me. That would be me. Lupa was both angry and hungry. I didn't claim to be fluent in wolf, but I'd spent enough time around my sister's pack to understand the basics. Feelings were the easiest to read. Lupa, like all her kind, spoke in a combination of glances, snarls, ear twitches, postures, and pheromones. It was quite an elegant language, though not well suited to rhyming couplets. Believe me, I tried. Nothing rhymed with grr, Lupa was trembling with fury over Jason's death. The kittens on her breath indicated she had not eaten in days. The anger made her hungry. The hunger made her angry, and her twitching nostrils told me that I was the nearest, most convenient sack of mortal meat. Nevertheless, I followed her into Jupiter's massive temple. I had little choice. Ringing the open-air pavilion, columns the size of redwoods supported a domed, gilded ceiling. The floor was a colorful mosaic of Latin inscriptions, prophecies, memorials, dire warnings to praise Jupiter or face his lightning. In the center, behind a marble altar, rose a massive golden statue of Dad himself, Jupiter Optimus Maximus, draped in a purple silk toga big enough to be a ship's sail. He looked stern, wise, and paternal, though he was only one of those things in real life. Seeing him tower above me, lightning bolt raised, I had to fight the urge to cower and plead. I knew it was only a statue, but if you've ever been traumatized by someone, you'll understand. It didn't take long to trigger those old fears. A look, a sound, a familiar situation, or a 50-foot tall golden statue of your abuser. That does the trick. Lupa stood before the altar. Mist shrouded her fur as if she were off-gassing quicksilver. It is your time, she told me, or something like that. Her gestures conveyed expectation and urgency. She wanted me to do something. Her scent told me that she wasn't sure I was capable of. I swallowed dryly, which in itself was wolf, for I'm scared. No doubt Lupa already smelled my fear. It was impossible to lie in Lupa's language. Certain, bully, casual, yes, but not outright lie. My time, I said. For what exactly? She nipped the air in annoyance. To be Apollo. The pack needs you. I wanted to scream, I've been trying to be Apollo. It's not that easy. But I restrained my body language from broadcasting that message. Talking face to face with any god is dangerous business. I was out of practice. True, I'd seen brittle martyrs back in Indianapolis, but she didn't count. She liked torturing me too much to want to kill me. With Lupa, though, I had to be careful. Even when I'd been a god myself, I'd never been able to get a good read on the Wolf Mother. She didn't hang out with the Olympians. She never came to the family Saturnalia dinners. Not once had she attended our monthly book group, even when we discussed dances with wolves. Fine, I relented. I know what you mean. The last lines from the dark prophecy. I've reached the timber alive, etc., etc. Now I'm supposed to jive. I assume that entails more than dancing and snapping my fingers. Lupa's stomach growled. The more I talked, the tastier I smelled. The pack is weak, she signaled up with a glance toward the funeral pyre. Too many have died. When the enemy surrounds this place, you must show strength. You must summon help. I tried to suppress another wolfish display of irritation. Lupa was a goddess. This was her city, her camp. She had a pack of supernatural wolves at her command. Why couldn't she help? But, of course, I knew the answer. Wolves are not frontline fighters. They are hunters who attack only when they have overwhelming numbers. Lupa expected her Romans to solve their own problems, to be self-sufficient or die. She would advise, she would teach and guide and warn, but she would not fight their battles, our battles, which made me wonder why she was telling me to summon help. And what help? My expression and body language must have conveyed that question. She flicked her ears. North, scout the Tom, find answers. That is the first step. Outside, at the base of the temple, the funeral pyre crackled and roared. Smoke drifted through the open rotunda, buffeting the statue of Jupiter. I hoped, somewhere up on Mount Olympus, Dad's divine sinuses were suffering. Tarquinius Superbus, I said. He's the one who sent the undead. He'll attack again at the blood moon. Lupa's nostrils twitched in confirmation. His stench is on you. Be careful in his tomb. The emperors were foolish to call him forth. Emperor was hardly concept into expression in wolf. The term for it could mean alpha wolf, pack leader, or submit to me now before I rip out your jugular. I was fairly sure I interpreted Lupa's meaning correctly. Her firm nose read danger, disgust, apprehension, outrage, more danger. I put a hand over my bandaged arm. I was getting better, wasn't I? I'd been slaughtered with enough Lemurian spice and unicorn horn shavings to kill a zombie mastodon, but I didn't like Lupa's worried look, or the idea of anyone's stench being on me, especially not an undead king's. Once I explore this tomb, I said, and get out alive, what then? The way will be clearer to defeat the Great Silence. Then summon help. Without this, the pack will die. I was less sure I comprehended those lines. Defeat the silence. You mean the soundless god? The doorway that Reina is supposed to open? Her response was frustratingly ambivalent. It could have meant yes and no, or sort of, or why are you so dense? I stared up at a large golden dad. Zeus had thrown me into the middle of all this trouble. He'd stripped me of my power, then kicked me to the earth to free the oracles, defeat the emperors, and oh wait, I got a bonus undead king and a silent god too. I hoped the suit from the funeral pyre was really annoying Jupiter. I wanted to climb up those legs and finger right across his chest. Wash me. I closed my eyes. This probably wasn't the wisest thing to do when facing a giant wolf, but I had too many half-formed ideas swirling around in my head. I thought about the Sibylline books, the various prescriptions they contained for warding off disasters. I considered what Lupa meant by the Great Silence and summoning help. My eyes snapped open. Help, as in godly help. You mean if I survive the tomb and defeat the soundless, whatever it is, I might be able to summon godly help? Lupa made a rumbling sound in her chest. Finally, he understands. This will be the beginning, the first step to rejoining your own pack. My heart thumped like it was falling down a flight of stairs. Lupa's message seemed too good to be true. I could contact my fellow Olympians, despite Zeus' standing orders that they shun me while I was human. I might even be able to invoke their aid to save Camp Jupiter. Suddenly, I really did feel better. My gut didn't hurt. My nerves tingled with a sensation I hadn't felt for so long I almost didn't recognize it. Hope. Beware. Lupa brought me back to reality with a low snarl. The way is hard. You will face more sacrifices. Death, blood. No, I meant her eyes. A dangerous sign of challenge that surprised me as much as it did her. No, I will succeed. I won't allow any more losses. There has to be a way. I managed maybe 3 seconds of eye contact before looking away. Lupa sniffed, a dismissive noise like, of course I won. But I thought I detected a hint of grudging approval as too. It dawned on me that Lupa appreciated my bluster and determination, even if she didn't believe I was capable of doing what I said. Maybe especially because she didn't believe it. You join the feast, she ordered. Tell them you have my blessing. Continue to act strong. It is how we start. I studied the old prophecies that set in the floor mosaic. I had lost friends to the triumvirate I had suffered, but I realized that Lupa had suffered too. Her Roman children had been disseminated. She carried the pain of all their deaths, yet she had to act strong, even as her pact faced possible extinction. You can't lie and wolf, but you can bluff. Sometimes you had to bluff to keep a grieving pack together. What do mortals say? Fake it till you make it? That is a very wolfish philosophy. Thank you. I looked up, but Lupa was gone. Nothing remained except silver mist, blending with the smoke from Jason's pyre. I gave Reyna and Frank the simplest version. I had retrieved the wolf goddess's blessing. I promised to tell them more the next day, once I had time to make sense of it. Meanwhile, I trusted that word would spread among the legion about Lupa giving me guidance. That would be enough for now. These demigods needed all the assurance they could get. As the pyre burned, Frank and Hazel stood hand in hand, keeping vigil as Jason made his final voyage. I sat on a funeral picnic blanket with Meg, who ate everything in sight and went on and on about her excellent afternoon tending unicorns with Lavinia. Meg boasted that Lavinia had even let her clean out the stables. She pulled a Tom Sawyer on you, I observed. Meg frowned, her mouth filled with hamburger. What do you mean? Nothing. You were saying about unicorn poop? I tried to eat my dinner, but despite how hungry I was, the food tasted like dust. When the pyre's last embers died and the wind spirits cleared away the remnants of the feast, we followed the legionnaires back to camp. Back in Bumbleow's spare room, I lay on my cot and studied the cracks in the ceiling. I imagined they were lines of tattooed script across the Cyclops' back. If I stared at them long enough, maybe they would start to make sense, or at least I could find the index. Meg threw a shoe at me. You gotta rest. Tomorrow's a Senate meeting. I brushed her red high top off my chest. You're not asleep either. Yeah, but you'll have to speak. They'll want to hear your plan. My plan? You know, like an orison. Inspire them and stuff. Convince them to what to do. They will vote on it and everything. One afternoon in the unicorn stables, and you're an expert on Roman senatorial proceedings. Lavinia told me. Meg sounded positively smug about it. She lay on her cot, tossing her other high top in the air and catching it again. How she had managed this without her glasses on, I had no idea. Minus the rhinestone cat eye frames, her face looked older, her eyes darker and more serious. I would have even called her mature had she not come back from her day at the stables wearing a glittering green t-shirt that read Vinicor's imprint. What if I don't have a plan? I asked. I expected Meg to throw her other shoe at me. Instead, she said, You do. I do? Yep. You might not have it all put together yet, but you will have by tomorrow. I couldn't tell if she was giving me an order or expressing faith in me, or just vastly underestimating the dangers we faced. Continue to act strong, Lupa told me. It is how we start. Okay, I said tentatively. Well, for starters, I was thinking that we could. Not now, tomorrow. I don't want spoilers. Ah, there was the Meg I knew and tolerated. What is with you and spoilers? I asked. I hate them. I was trying to strategize with. Nope. Talking through my ideas. Nope. She tossed aside her shoe, put a pillow over her head, and commanded in a muffled voice, Go to sleep. Against a direct order, I had no chance. Weariness washed over me, and my eyelids crashed shut.